Hey, what's up everyone, Same Time Gaming here. Welcome back for another Division 2 build video. Well guys, today I'm going to show you my Negotiator Dilemma build, which I usually use it most of the times. I've already made a Negotiator Dilemma build like a couple of months ago, but since then a lot has changed, different updates, buffs and nerfs. There's been a lot of changes, so I kind of wanted to update my build. Previously, when I made the Negotiator Dilemma build, I was using the backpack and a chest piece with Unbreakable, so going for like a bit of different approach there. But right now I'm going for damage talents on backpack and also on the chest piece. And with this, I use a lot. This build, I use it pretty much in anywhere. And you can, use it in any content in the game, especially, raid or legendary missions, heroic missions, control points, whatever you want. You can also solo. But when you play solo with this build, it's just too easy, to be honest. That's what I'm going to say. Now, if you're making a DPS build and you don't have a Negotiator Dilemma build in any of your character, then what you guys doing? Like, you have to make a Negotiator Dilemma build. This is a top tier DPS build in this game right now. Negotiator Dilemma build is a must-have build. A single person should have at least one Negotiator Dilemma build. It doesn't matter how you make the build, but you should have the Negotiator Dilemma build because it does a lot of damage, and that's all I can say. But right now, you can't use the build on raid, the Iron Horse raid, because thanks to Massive, they screwed up something. You can't use the Negotiator Dilemma build on the fourth boss, otherwise it's going to screw up something. So yeah, but otherwise, yeah, Negotiator Dilemma build is a top tier build. Like I said, it's one of my favorite builds. It's actually my second favorite. My favorite is skill build. Usually I'm a skill guy, but yeah, Negotiator Dilemma build is right there on the second. And this is the way I run my build right now. As you can see, for this Negotiator Dilemma, I'm going for the Group of Sombra chest piece and a Sheshka backpack, because I'm trying to get that crit chance and damage as high as possible, because this is a crit build. It's all about critting. The higher you're going to crit, the more damage you're going to do, of course. Plus, Negotiator Dilemma build marks out the target and does insane damage. Now, let me tell you one drawback about Negotiator Dilemma build is when you shooting and marking NPCs, you will take a lot of damage from the NPCs as well. Doesn't matter if you use a glass cannon on your chest piece or not. I've seen people use glass cannon and they go down so fast because you're the main target. When you're using Negotiator Dilemma build, you're doing 3 times the damage than you would actually, like normally you would do. You're doing 3 times the more damage. And how the game mechanic works is whoever does the most damage to NPCs, the NPC will shoot that person. They're going to ignore everyone. Even if someone's standing right in front of them, they're going to ignore that person and will target you. And that's how stupid this game mechanic is. Otherwise, this is perfect. You can use it and you're just going to love it. So this is how I make it, this build, and this is how I run it. So the weapon I'm going for is Police M4 because it's got good RPM, good total damage right there. It's nice stats as well. You could try pretty much any weapon you want. I've even used sometimes Bullet King because, for example, the Roosevelt legendary missions, there are like 2 bosses, they're the Marauders. I just use my Bullet King, mark both of them and shoot one and they both take damage. So yeah, I go for Bullet King at that point. I use different weapons. I've also used FAMAS. I've also used like Eagle Batter. I did make the build, a couple of months ago. That was Eagle Batter. I was using Eagle Batter at that time. So you can use any weapon you want. But right now, my weapon of choice in this build is the Police M4 with InSync talent. I have also used Killer. Like you can see my secondary do have Killer on it. But I did swap this talent to Killer to test out the damage. But what I've seen that InSync and Killer doesn't have much of a difference as a damage. Yes, Killer is a little bit better because that's 40% critical hit damage, but InSync is 30% weapon damage. So I tried both the talents in this exact same assault rifle, but the difference I saw between the damage was like 7,000. And I feel like better to run InSync than Killer because Killer is dependent on killing NPCs and it only stays active for a little bit of time. But with InSync, if you have a drone or a turret active shooting the NPCs, extra damage, if you have a drone or turret helping you with the DPS as well. So you have InSync working every time for you. So that's why this is a better option in my opinion. But you can pretty much use anything you want, like I said. So that's why I'm going for Police M4. Now, second weapon, I'm going for Black Market AKM just because it does a lot of damage. The total base damage is pretty good. RPM is low, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going for it. Sometimes I even swap this for, like Eagle Better, like I said, or I even tried Chatterbox. It's fun. So any weapon you want, you can use it. So, but I'm using it this way, right? Now, You can see 4-piece Negotiator Dilemma Build. I'm going for the mask. You can see weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage there. Trying to get very high crit, and I do have a very high crits with this. If you want, you can go for 2-piece Providence, but then you only get 10% crit chance. So that's why I'm using 1-piece Sheshka, so I get that 10% crit chance, and 1-piece Grupo, that's giving me that 15% critical hit damage. And if you can see my stats over here, you'll see a 58% crit chance and 171.2% critical hit damage. I could go higher if my stats were like maxed out, but it's not a perfect world. Now, what great thing about this build is I managed to put all crit damage mods on my weapon without even worrying about it. Now you can see this one, the tactical short grip, is 10% critical hit damage. Is because I'm running the firewall specialization, and this one, the firewall specialization will give you this one, the tactical small grip. So that's why I'm getting that 10% here. Otherwise, I've gone for crit damage mods and everywhere because I don't really need crit chance. I feel like 58% crit chance is fine. I don't want to leak my crit chance. If I put a mod anywhere, this would be like 64, 62, and I'm losing bit crit chance or leaking. I don't want to do that. So 58 is fine for me. That's what I think. Now, you can see the chest piece. I'm going for Group of Samurai. I've been very lucky to find this. I would love to have critical hit damage mod here, like change the attribute, but then I think they're changing the mod slots in future update anyway. So maybe in future I will be able to put critical hit damage mod in here. So that will also increase my critical hit damage like 180 plus, critical hit damage with this same exact build. So that's why it's perfect. Now I'm using the talent Obliterate. You could use, Focus and use like a 8x scope and go for more damage because Focus would do more damage. But that's like, personal perspective, a personal choice, I would say. You can go for Spotter as well. But I'm going for Obliterate because, I wanted to use a Grupo Sombra piece just for the 15% critical hit damage. And this is the only chess piece I have. And it's got Obliterate, so I just can't argue with this chess piece. So that's why I'm going for it. Plus, it's giving me the more crit damage. If I use anything else like Providence or anything, I'm going to lose crit damage. So yeah. That's why I'm going for this. Now for the backpack, the same backpack, the previous build I used, Sheshka, perfect stats, vigilance here. So you can see weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and all that. Now, gloves, I have, you see, weapon damage and crit damage. The knee pads, I got weapon damage and crit chance. And for the holster, I have weapon damage and crit damage. So that's pretty much it, the build here. And you can see the talent in sync. I'm using Firewall, like I said, for the crit damage mod. And also the med kit is pretty good. The armor kit, if you take the armor kit, it's nice. Now, since I am running in sync talent, instead of Striker Drone, you could run the Striker Shield for the, specialization shield, this one, Crusader, the Striker Shield, and you will get extra damage per enemy. But that's situational. You got to be close to them. And I wouldn't recommend to go close to NPCs, although the footage I'm showed you before, I was a little bit closer, but that's more of a team thing. Everyone's like doing status effect and stuff. So I thought like, since they're burning, I should go close and kill them. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Use the Striker Drone or like, turret or shield to proc your in sync. And yeah, just do the damage. That's typically how this build works. And you're going to do insane amount of damage. Like I said, 3 times the damage would normally any build would put on. And you just mark the NPC and you kill them. Because, Negotiator Dilemma gives you that mark damage. And also, since you keep on killing them, you're gaining your critical hit damage. So there's going to be a green bar that's going to fill up the Negotiator Dilemma. Every time you kill someone with the marked enemy, like every time a marked enemy dies, you get 2% critical hit damage, and it stacks up to 20%, 20 times. So that's like 40% critical hit damage if you kill these NPCs. And yeah, that's a lot of crits going on in here. And I'm actually going to show you how perfectly this thing works. Like, I'm going to go and change this to very hard, because we want very hard, right? We don't want to do normal. I've seen somebody comment in my previous video that I was doing normal. Shooting range, you can change the difficulty. It doesn't matter if your world is on normal, but hey, my world is on heroic. You see that now? Okay, so you can see I'm just marking them, and you just shoot one guy, and then everyone takes the damage. You can see their health is going down. Since I'm not running the backpack, the damage is not that crazy. If you use the backpack of Negotiator Dilemma, you'll do more damage, but then it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna like go with this and target, let the in-sync proc. The in-sync is active, and I mark this guy, just gonna mark them, and if I like target this, they just die. That's how fun this build is, and I just love it. That's all I can say. You can do really good damage with this. You can see I'm hitting 569k within sync and all that. Obliterate fully procced. So yeah, I mean, give it a try and you'll know how good this build is. Everyone should have a Negotiator Dilemma build, guys. That's all I can say. And that's pretty much it for the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.